Hello action figure fans, this is HammerTron here with a new action figure playset review for you. This time I am reviewing the Animal Planet Deep Sea Encounter playset. This is a Target exclusive. It looks like Target took over Animal Planet after Toys R Us went out of business. And this is manufactured by Blip Toys, and the Animal Planet brand is owned by Discovery Communication. This was released in 2021. I bought this sometime in 2021, and now I am getting around to opening this up. This comes in an open package where we can reach in there and touch the toys in there. There we have some lanternfish with an action feature that we can try out. Looks like he's ready to eat the poor little diver here. And then a nice big octopus and some other kind of fish in there. So this is kind of nice to be able to touch what you're getting, but if you're buying this in the store, that means other people have reached in there and touched it, and who knows, maybe they broke something. But so far it looks like everything is in place. Also, we have some accessories back in here on a sprue. So this is the front of the package. Here is the top of the package. Here's the bottom with some manufacturing information there. Here is one side of the package. Here is the other side. So not much happening there. And here is the back. Some nice pictures there. And nice little story about exploring the deep sea. So I will open this up and review this in a moment, and we will see how nicely the other side of these are painted. Sometimes in these relatively inexpensive toys, one side is painted and the other side is not painted. So after I open this up, we'll see how well they are painted. Here is the diver action figure. Let's see how tall this action figure is. According to the tape measure, just a little more than 4 inches tall. A little more than 10 centimeters tall. So it's a nicely sized little action figure. So it's a relatively cheap action figure. But for something so cheap, we do seem to have a lot of interesting details. Nice little symbol painted on the chest there. It looks like one of those lanternfishes. And a lot more detail on the arms and legs than we would expect from something that's inexpensive, and lots of painting too. I'm surprised at how much detail there is on this action figure. Some of these parts seem to be a little bit odd. Maybe that's a little bit big there. A little the pouch on the inside is a bit big, but the hands I think are much too large, but for an action figure this small, maybe we don't need hands to be too small. We want them big enough to hold stuff and not break. Looks like the color of the face there is a bit odd. So they missed some painting there. And here's the back. There's the peg hole and a screw holding the body together. So the articulation is pretty simple. The head we can turn left to right. With the arms, they go all the way around. With the legs, we can kick forward and kick back just a little bit, kick forward and kick back just a little bit. And then there's articulation at the ankles, where he can go on the tippy toes, or he's swimming once we add the flippers. And the ankles go up this way. So, a surprisingly nice looking action figure with more detail than we would expect from something this inexpensive. Here is one of the fishes that come in this set. This one has no points of articulation. It's just a solid piece of plastic, although some of it is kind of soft and pliable. And this fish is about 4¼ inches long, or about 11 centimeters long. So it's a nicely sized little fish. I don't know how accurate it is compared to a real person, but it does have soft pliable plastic. It was in the package this way, and it looks like it does have some nice, well, it has a lot of nice sculpted details here and some painting. The other side also has some painting. This little antenna part where the light is, it's a loop that is attached on both ends. The jaws move, but that's because it's kind of a soft pliable plastic. The teeth are very pliable. That's pretty good, although just a little bit sticky for some reason. So it's a pretty nice looking little fish, and compared to the person, the diver, that's about how big it is. So I'm not sure how accurate this is compared to each other, but looks nice for this playset. Here is one of the stars of this set. I think this is fully grown or giant size lanternfish, and it is about 8 inches long, or about 20 centimeters long, and maybe 5.5 inches tall, or about 14 centimeters tall, and maybe about 2 inches wide or 5 centimeters wide. So it's a nicely sized fish, and it was in the package facing us this way, so we can see some of the details here. Some nice painting, lots of sculpted details. It feels pretty light because it's hollow. Here's a little lantern over here, and there's lots of sharp teeth there. And these are the flippers. Looks like fins. We can use this one to activate the action feature. Just push down, and that's all it does. And we do see some painting here on this side, and it does look like there is painting on this side also. However, if we look at this lantern here, it's hollow on this side, but it's fully formed on this side. So they did cut out a little bit of plastic on the side that customers don't see before they buy it, but the rest of it is painted pretty nicely. So, nice looking fish. Well, actually, pretty ugly looking. And let's compare it to the diver. So, it's pretty big compared to the diver. He'll make a nice lunch. Although if we push too hard, I think something will break. So, we do want to be gentle with it. Here is the star of the set. It looks like a giant octopus. Very interesting looking animal. Let's see how big this is. So it looks like it's almost 10 inches long, or about 25 centimeters long at the highest point. It's about almost 6 inches tall, or about 15 centimeters tall at the widest point. Out at the tentacles, it's maybe 5.5 inches wide or 14 centimeters wide. So it's a nicely sized octopus toy. And here it's not much articulation. There's not much happening that we can do with it other than set it out, but there are some surprises to it. So here we have some nice painting here, nice painted details. On this side we can see different colored plastic, so they didn't match the colors very well, but I'm happy that they did paint the other side over here, so at least they got both sides. And it looks like there are two main pieces. Well, we have the head piece here, and then the part with the tentacles here, and that part is mostly hollow. There's a single screw in there holding the head on, but we do want to be careful if we're picking this up and moving it around because the front part here is pretty heavy compared to the rest of the octopus. These tentacles here are solid plastic. The rest of this, this is certainly hollow, and the rest of this we can see is hollow down here, so very lightweight here, so a lot of the weight is on the front here. So we want to be careful as we move it around, because if we jiggle it around too roughly, I think the head is going to snap off. There's one single screw there, and I'm not sure it's a very strong screw holding it together, so I've noticed sometimes as I jiggle it around a little bit, there's a little creaking, so it sounds like it'll break if we're not careful. So it's a lot of nice sculpted details here throughout the octopus and on the tentacles. The front part has a lot of especially nice details sculpted in here. And a couple of surprises that I didn't realize would happen is we do have some points of articulation. This tentacle we can twist, so that twists, and this one also twists, and I think this one here is meant to twist also. It looks like it has a solid piece here and a little cut in the plastic where it's attached. We can see the hollow part here going up to the solid part, and it does connect there. And so far I've not been able to get that to twist, so maybe I just need to loosen it up a little bit, but I want to be very, very careful. I don't want to break it, so I'll just leave it alone. So the best way to handle this is to try to pick up from the body and not the head, because there's too much weight and too much leverage, so eventually that'll snap off. But it certainly looks like a pretty nice giant octopus monster. So let's see how it looks compared to our little diver. And our little diver is very little. So I think if he's swimming around under the ocean, he's going to be very, very frightened. Maybe he'll be captured in the tentacles. Looks like we can fit him in there. So the poor little diver looks like he's going to be twisted apart and maybe eaten by the octopus. Here are the accessories on a sprue. Before I take these out, I'm going to check to see if they actually work with this action figure. I think here's some flippers, so we'll see if they fit on his feet. So push the feet in, and that looks like that one will work. And this one, that one will work. And then it looks like here is an oxygen tank. There's a peg. It'll fit in the peg hole on the back here. That looks like that'll work. And here's something. I'm not sure what that is, but it looks like it'll fit. Well, it'll fit loosely around his neck, if that's what we're supposed to do with that, whatever that is. And then a few other items here. It looks like there's a flashlight here. Let's see if the flashlight fits in the hand. Does it fit in the hand? A little hard to get it in the right position. Maybe not that hand. We'll try this hand. Okay, it looks like we can get that little flashlight in his hand there. It's a little bit loose. Looks like there's some other handheld items here. Let's see if they'll fit in the hands. Okay, it looks like that'll work. And I'm not sure what some of these things are. It looks like that thing is a camera. And it looks like a pair of binoculars. I'm not sure why there'd be a pair of binoculars with a diver. So I'll take these out a little bit later. Oh, looks like here is a swimming mask. Let's see if that'll fit on his head. Well, a little hard to tell if it's going to stay on his head. I think it's a bit loose, so I don't think it'll really stay on his head, but I will remove these later after checking out the action figure and the fish. Here is our deep sea encounter with a pair of 4-inch action figures. On the left is the Fortnite Jonesy action figure by Jazzwares. He's about to be eaten by a couple of lanternfish. And on the right is an adventurer from another Animal Planet set I reviewed a while ago, and he's about to be grabbed and gobbled by the giant octopus. Here is our deep sea encounter with a 6-inch action figure. This is the Fortnite Legendary Series Leviathan action figure by Jazzwares, and it looks like the Leviathan will fit in nicely with this crowd. Here is our deep sea encounter with a 7-inch action figure. This is the Masters of the Universe Masterverse He-Man action figure by Mattel, and it looks like even He-Man would have trouble with these giant sea creatures. This Animal Planet deep sea encounter set is nicer than I expected. I especially like how nice the diver is, although still probably cheaper and lower in quality compared to most other action figures. It's still pretty high quality compared to other Animal Planet set action figures with a lot of extra details. I did cut out some of the items from the sprue, but not all the items. I just cut out the ones that I put on the diver. So some sort of weapon or scientific exploration device, his flippers, the oxygen tank, and the mask. Although I kept the longer parts on it. I don't think I needed to, but I just thought that looked kind of neat that way. So it's a pretty nice looking diver with more detail on it than we would normally get on this kind of action figure. And the octopus certainly looks cool. I was surprised about the articulated tentacles, but it's pretty lightweight, so we do want to be careful with how we handle it. If we grab it roughly by the head, it'll probably break off of the tentacles. The heaviest part is the front tentacles that are solid plastic. The rest of this is pretty hollow. And the action feature of the lanternfish is pretty cool, and certainly a very scary looking creature. This one also looks pretty scary, and it's a lot smaller and no articulation, but still looks pretty nice. So all in all, it's a pretty nice set. Thank you for watching my review video. Remember to like the video, leave a comment, let me know what you think of this set, and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with my future reviews and commentary. I'll see you next time, action figure fans.